us off. Jim, take it away, pal. What do you have for me today? What's on your mind? Jim?
Hey, Chris, how are you, man?
All right, Jimmy, thank you. What's up?
Hey, Chris, great job on Howard this morning. And just so you know, I would pay very good money to listen to you and Howard do a show on gummies, okay?
Yeah, exactly. We're on the gummies. We're on the gummy kick now with Howard with the gummies. That was funny. Howard wants me to do a gummy, folks. Howard wants me to do a gummy, folks. Take one 40 minutes before I go on the air and then do a 3 or 4 hour show off the gummy. And that's where Jimmy is referring to. That's that will happen one day. I promise. That will happen one day. Anyway,
I'll be there for it.
I'll be there. What's your take on the game now? Let me hear your Gonzaga Baylor thoughts. Go ahead, Jim.
Well, I got to tell you, I listened to the show yesterday, and you got to have Reggie on next time there's a championship game. I mean, he was spot on about Baylor's offensive rebounding, and that I think is what took Gonzaga's heart away, was that they just couldn't get a rebound. I mean, they manhandled Gonzaga, and they took their heart away in the first 3 minutes of the game. And Gonzaga was, I think it's fair to say they were emotionally spent, and they just couldn't get back into it, and they couldn't hit threes when they had to. So it's easy. It's a lot easier to hit threes when you got a 9-point lead whether you're down double digits the whole time. So that was my take on the game.
Yeah, that's a good one. I mean, Baylor had 16 offensive rebounds in the game. Vital had 8 all by himself. I think that is a very fair assessment. 16 offensive rebounds to 5, and they made 10 threes. And Gonzaga in the game was 5 out of 17. So, I mean, those two stats, very significant. That's an excellent point. Offensive rebounding to me is about effort, desire, go get the ball, that kind of thing. And there's no question about it. Their legs were not there for. First off, I think that Gonzaga, I think they almost took Baylor a little bit for granted. I don't know. I think they thought this was not going to be that big a deal. We got by UCLA, now we're going to fly, and that's the exact opposite of what happened. But offensive rebounding was an important element. You're 100% right, Jim. Continue.
Yeah,
what else?
Yeah.
What else?
Okay, last thing, and Chris, I got to play just a little bit of potpourri with you because, the game, let's face it, was a little anticlimactic yesterday. But can you name the event that happened 27 years ago today that was one of the most famous moments in sports talk?
1983, 27 years ago today.
1994, Chris. 1994.
Oh, 1994. That's right, 93. It's 2021. April 6th of 1994. Sports talk. I can't. What is it?
27 years ago today, Jim Rome called Jim Everett Chris for the last time.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, I remember. Good call. I hated when Rome did that. I thought that was out of line. I thought that wasn't a good thing to do. He kind of taunted him. That was nasty. And then Everett got ticked off. A good. I didn't know that was 27 years ago today, but I do remember the spot. 100%. Here is Chris in New Jersey. Christopher, welcome. Good afternoon. How are you today, pal? What do you have? Chris. Hello, Chris. How are you today? Okay, pal. What's on your mind today? Let me hear. Go ahead.
You hit it 100% on the head. The storyline is Gonzaga not getting the job done. Baylor, kind of inconsequential program. I just wonder if the Suggs shot is going to go down in history because they didn't pull it off. I don't know. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think that Gonzaga, you're never going to forget that. Good call, Chris. You're never going to forget the Suggs shot, and you're never going to forget that game. But I do think my take, and that's why I brought up the Fisk home run game, which has stood alone historically, despite the fact the Red Sox didn't win that year. I do think when you have a moment like that, I think it needs to have that stamped and cemented. And that game was not cemented on Saturday night. I mean, all right, fine. They beat UCLA in a classic. They win 93-90. Suggs makes a 3 to win the game at the end from 40 feet. Great job. We spent all day on it yesterday, but then 36 hours later, they get their doors handed to them as a favorite by Baylor. I mean, at the end of the day, what did the Suggs shot mean? Got him an extra day and a half in Indianapolis? What did it exactly? I remember, Gonzaga is a team that needs Gonzaga is a school, folks, that needs to win a championship. All right, they need to win a title. They've been good for too long in that garbage league. They need to win a title to prove everybody wrong. And this was their chance. I mean, they were by far the best team. They were unbeaten coming in. The whole world loved them. And they went into a championship game, albeit tired, understood. But they went into a championship game last night, and they were never in the game. Never. From the opening tip, they were never in. As soon as Bill Raftery said, Jim Nantz, Grant Hill, man-to-man, as soon as he said that, Gonzaga was out of the game. Got to be fair. You got to be fair. Have to be fair. It was a very poor performance. So you take that for what it's worth. And I think that, it's disconcerting from that standpoint. Here's Mike in L.A. He's on Mad Dog Unleashed. Mike, good afternoon. How are you today, pal? What do you have? Michael.
I'm doing good, doggy. Hey, you mentioned something. You said Baylor played 15 ranked teams. We know they played in a far better division. We know that they were far more athletic. Yep. I don't know how yesterday you said that Gonzaga would beat them 4 out of 5. To me, if you looking at the game, it's not even close.
Well, I'm dead wrong.
Baylor was far superior. I
100%.
I think they were just far superior. I just never understood the hype. I live 5 minutes from Loyola Marymount. They play in a high school gym. So, and that's in that conference, this this West Coast Conference. So to me, I just never understood what the hype was about. Because like you said, we do this every year with Gonzaga. This is the team. This is the team. This is the team. And they never, ever get it done. And I think you just got to give Baylor credit. This Baylor team could have won it last year. They have NBA players on their team. And, they came out with something to prove because I'm sure they had been hearing about Gonzaga all year. But they just put on a phenomenal performance. I think that this Baylor team just hadn't gotten enough credit. But that's all.
Well, the best thing you said, and good call, Mike, and the best thing you said there, and I was dead wrong because, I said that Gonzaga would beat them in 5 games. No, I wouldn't. No, they wouldn't. Not after last night. Baylor is quicker. They got better athletes. They have better guards. Gonzaga would not beat them 4 games in 5. They wouldn't lose. They wouldn't get swept. They'd win, but it's Baylor in 5, not Gonzaga in 5. You are 1,000% correct. A terrible read on my part. You're right. I didn't read it right. I had the game wrong. Here it is. All this tournament, I was killing Gonzaga, and then at the end of the day, I jump on him and I get killed. Teaches me a lesson. Bob Gallerstein, half past. He's on Mad Dog Unleashed.